This
VPC
conference will
Cider.
now be recorded.
If anybody have any questions, please ask. No problem. So one moment, please. Just give me a second. So today we'll learn about another service called Elastic Beanstalk. AWS Elastic Beanstalk. So as you remember, we have three types of service models. So one of them is PaaS, right? We have PaaS. PaaS is what? PaaS is what? Platform as a service, right? And what we are working on? On which service model we are working on? We are working on IaaS. We are working on IaaS, that is infrastructure as a service. Till now, whatever we working are all the services, whatever services we are using those services from AWS provider. So AWS provider providing our as a infrastructure as a service. So we can, as a DevOps engineers, we will create various infrastructures and use this their infrastructure as a service. So and PaaS is a one, as you know, if you remember, in the initially we discussed about PaaS. PaaS platform as a service, they provide everything. They provide everything. That means they provide you all the what you call uh, infrastructure as well. And for example, if you want to deploy Java application or .NET application, so whatever application you are deploying, then we required a runtime environment, right? So all those softwares, whatever depending softwares are required, everything is provided by the platform as a service, you know that. And just what we have to do, we have to just upload the application, that's all. Java application or .NET application or any language application, whatever language the application was developed in, that application you have to upload. Okay, so why I'm discussing it now? Why? Because the elastic beanstalk comes, it's almost same like a pass. So elastic beanstalk provides you all the environment. It provides you all the environment. For example, all the environment means you no need to create EC2 instances. You no need to create security in services, security groups. Okay, nothing. Everything it will take care. It will take care everything. It will provide everything. And even it provides you load balancers if required. And if it provides you an auto scaling service as well. Okay, everything it will take care. But otherwise, there is no elastic beanstalk, then everything till now whatever we did it manually, right? We we created an EC2 instance, and then we created security group for it, and then we selected OS for that, right? OS also we selected everything, we selected. But elastic beanstalk is not like that. OS also it will select automatically basing on your application. And then what do you call next is what do you the volumes, how much volume it required, everything it will take care. We no need to worry about creating individually, like attaching the load balancer, attaching the auto scaling, everything. Load balancer will, elastic beanstalk will take care. So it's like end to end. It provides end to end web application management service in AWS cloud. Say end to end web application management service in AWS cloud. So everything whatever requires for a web application to be run successfully, it will take care. So easily easily we can run our web application. Easily we can run our application on AWS cloud using Elastic Beanstalk service. Okay, that's the main purpose. That's the main purpose of Beanstalk. Okay, and then we just need to what? We just need to upload our code, web application code on AWS Elastic BeanStack. That's all. So it's same is it resembles like a platform as a service, right? So we can say that Elastic Beanstalk provides platform as a service. Okay, Elastic Elastic Beanstalk, okay, will take care of software and servers which are required to run our web application. So Elastic Beanstalk will take care of all the software. Okay, take care of all the required software and servers which are required to run our application, web application. Okay, for example, if you take an example, suppose below operations. First one is, as you know, you have to create EC2 instance, but before that, you can first anyway, EC2 instance has to be created. Create EC2 instance, create what you call security groups, required security groups, and then then what? Then what we do? Here is the network, right? Network like VPC kind of create network. If VPC is not already there, you have to do that, and then what do you have to do? We have to install the runtime environment, right? Install Java runtime software, and then you have to install application itself, deploy deploy it Java web application code, right? And then what you have to do? If required, if required, have to we have to uh, we have to create load balancers, right? And what else? Auto scaling also. Auto scaling at services need to be created, right? It's all steps. Many are there. I'm just whatever I got in my mind. I'm preparing, writing over here, but many more are there. Any questions here? These are all things we have to do. So instead of doing all these steps, okay, what we can do instead of be preparing uh, be preparing to be preparing the platform, platform to run the Java application, we can use Elastic Beanstalk service to run our web application, right? So everything it will take care. Okay. So advantages we already found some advantages here. So but let's elaborate it more. What are the advantages with Elastic Beanstalk? It's fast and simple to begin. And next, developer productivity. Okay, and complete resource control. Some of the benefits, many are there. There are some of the methods. There are some are the benefits of using Elastic Beanstalk. And next is Elastic. So what are the charges for that? What are the charges of using Elastic Beanstalk pricing? So actually there is no charge. There is no additional charges for using Elastic Beanstalk. Okay. But what then? What we have to what amount we have to pay for which services we have to pay for? So we have to pay for all the resources which this Beanstalk is going to create. Whatever the Beanstalk creates, for all those services we have to pay, like auto scaling, load balancer, EC2 instances, everything. Whatever it is creating inside the Beanstalk, for those we have to pay. You pay for Amazon or AWS resources, resources that we create to store and run our web application. Like normally the code will be mostly moved to first S3 bucket, and then from there we pull it from using Elastic Beanstalk. Okay, normally that's the reason we required Amazon S3 service. We have to pay for Amazon S3 service. Okay, buckets S3 service buckets which we create. Okay, in these buckets only we what do you say what we load we upload the code, and EC2 instances and load balancers and auto scaling groups. For this we have to pay. Only for this, whatever it is created inside that, for that we have to pay. Okay, so let's see this practically. So just you type here Elastic Beanstalk. See, these are Elastic Beanstalk. Run and manage web applications. Okay, click on Elastic Beanstalk. But mostly in real time, we mostly use Docker and Kubernetes. Uh, but most of the companies going to use Docker and Kubernetes. So anyway, we have to know all the services. We don't know when the company wants what to use. Okay, so now create an application. Before that, Amazon Elastic Beanstalk end-to-end web application management. Okay, Amazon Elastic Beanstalk is an easy to use service for deploying and scaling web applications and services developed with Java, .NET, PHP, Node.js, Python, Ruby, Go, and Docker, and on familiar services, on familiar servers such as Apache. Apache, you know, right? It's a web server, right? There are servers. There's a saying on familiar servers such as Apache and Nginx. Nginx also a web server. Nginx mostly we use when working with Docker and Kubernetes. Passenger is another web server, and IIS. You know IIS we already used on .NET. On for deploying .NET applications, we use mostly IIS, Internet Information Service. Okay, these are servers. Okay, so our Elastic Beanstalk provides all these web servers. You can use all these web servers if you want. Okay, whenever you choose a .NET application, then Apache this Elastic Beanstalk will choose IIS. Create application. So before that, just go back. So if you expand here, okay, applications and environments, two things are there. First of all, you click on application and you will create an application. And environments is nothing but when you deploying your application initially, as we discussed very beginning first second classes. At that time we discussed like dev environment, sit environment, pre-production, uat, like that we discussed, right? So like that we can maintain here in environments. You can create, you can have multiple environments and you can test in different environments. Okay, such provision has been given by the elastic beanstalk. Now click on applications. In these applications, click on create application. Suppose I want to create some application, something like a uh, FedEx application, X grab something I said. Okay, and the tags, it's not optional. Just come down and click on create button. Just create, that's all. Now it's immediately we came to create new environment. Now this application, in which environment you want to deploy, in production or dev environment or SIT, which environment you want to deploy. So you have to plan accordingly. So now click on create new environment. Here we have two options: web server environment, worker environment. So whenever you want to access give access to the public, to the customers, like Amazon.in is a web application. So for that purpose you have to use web server. The applications which run in the backend, you can go with worker environments. Okay, which run for a long time. For example, if you take your task manager, in the task manager we have multiple applications running in the backend. They don't have any UI. They run for a long time in the backend, right? Those, for that you can go for worker environment. Okay, web server environment run a website or web application or web API that serves HTTP requests. Okay, so that applications you can use. For that type of applications you can choose web server environment. And worker environment run a worker application that processes long running workloads on demand or perform tasks on a schedule. Okay, so when you want to schedule like cron jobs, you use for cron jobs kind of, so it will be scheduled so and so time at so and so date, and it will run and it will stop. So for that kind of thing you can go for worker environment. When you come down, your application name is FedEx app, and your environment name you can give any name. So here I will say, I can change it. So dev, I will say dev environment, dev environment, something like that. So basing on your type of environment you are going to deploy, basing on that you can mention the name over here. And next is that you can give your URL. You will get a you can create your own URL. For example, the URL beginning you can say, I will say FedEx. FedEx is my starting part of the URL. The remaining will be API South one dot elasticbeanstalk.com. So the complete URL, using this complete URL, you can click over here and you can open your website, that website. So whatever code you have deployed, that will be executed automatically. Beanstalk will create all the required services on the cloud, like EC2 instance, security groups, everything it will create. After creating, it will inform us saying that successfully the application has been deployed. Once it is deployed, you can take this complete domain name or URL and you can paste over here, and when you run it, whatever application we have deployed, that will be shown on the browser. Previously what we used to do, previously we manually used to create Apache web server and we used to download the code from website, and we used to deploy in the home directory in Apache, if you are using Apache, right? If it is IIS, then what we have to do, we have used to copy the code into the www root folder. In that we used to copy the code. The same thing is happening in the backend. The same thing it will do in the backend. Elastic Beanstalk do the same thing in the backend, but instead of doing as manually, it will do automatically. That is the only difference, nothing more than that. Whatever we did, it will do. That's all, simple. And now we have to check availability, whether this with this name already any URL is there or not. We have to check it. Click on check availability. Now this URL is available. This URL is available. You can use it for testing your dev environment. So once it's deployed, then developers will use this URL and they will launch it and they will test whether their functionality is working fine or not. Okay, in a description if you want, you can describe here. Right, platform published and maintained by Amazon Elastic Beanstalk, it will take care. Okay, and platforms, what are which in which language your code is written. So if you expand it, If it is written in .NET Core on Linux or .NET Windows Server, Docker or Go language or Java, you choose the language whichever you want. You choose the language whichever you want. So, for example, for this example, what I will do, I will take a Java application, and when you select a Java application, automatically the runtime. This is the runtime. This is a runtime environment running on 64-bit Amazon Linux. So it will automatically choose a Linux machine. So if you go with Windows Server, for example, what it has chosen? It has chosen Windows Server. So you know, right? We did it already manually. We installed a Windows Server long back, and we installed IAS also, and then we downloaded code and we deployed into the www root folder, right? When you install IAS, that folder will come. So the same thing will come over here, right? Basing on that, different what language you choose, basing on that. So it's again Go will run on Amazon. Okay, so accordingly it will change. If you change Docker, then so it will choose different ECS, elastic container service. So it will take accordingly whatever you want. You can, if you want elastic container service, you can take this one. If you want to run your Docker image. So what is Docker image, what is Docker, we'll discuss very soon. So for this, as of now, I will select Java. So it selected some runtime environment, Corelator running in it, and this is the runtime software Corelator 21 version, and it will be running in the operating system Amazon Linux operating system. It will choose install operating system Amazon Linux, and it will install it in a EC2 instance. And platform, the version number, okay, it's recommended 4.21, let it be. And then here I'm going to use a sample application. If we have our own application, you upload it. When you click on upload button, so it will give two options. If the code is available in the S3 bucket, you can give the path of the S3 bucket. If you have in your local machine, you can choose the local file, and you can choose a file, and you can upload the file. You can upload the file. So similarly, you can upload from S3 bucket as well. But for now, for this example, I am taking sample application. The sample application BeanStalk will provide. BeanStalk will provide. So for this, I have taken Java. So Java sample code is available with BeanStalk. Some template it will have, and it will run on the web browser now. And then these are presets. So for us, we use free tier eligible, that is single instance. And if you want other options, you can go with other options. I single instance using spot instance, high availability. When you choose high availability, a load balancer will be attached. And here high availability using spot and on demand, so it's are expensive. Whatever you choose, these are not free. Whenever you're working on them, it will be expensive. And custom configuration, you can choose your own custom configuration. Okay, whatever you want, you can choose it. But when you go with high availability, load balancer will be attached for you. But when I go with single instance, load balancer will not come, but auto scaling will be created for you. Auto scaling service will be added for you. So auto scaling will do what? As you know, it will always maintains instances, number of instances, desired instances. But in our case, for a single instance, the minimum instances that auto scaling will maintain is one. It will always maintain one instance always. Okay, in this BeanStalk, when you select single instance free tier, one auto scaling service also will be added. So we have selected a sample code, nothing else we did. We selected our language Java, that's all. And next, when you come here, it is saying that configure service access. So IAM roles, so we discussed long back about users and user groups in IAM, and roles also we discussed partially. Now we are going to use roles. We will see how to use, why to use. So IAM roles assumed by Elastic Beanstalk as a service role, and EC2 instance profile allow Elastic Beanstalk to create and manage your environment. Both the IAM role and instance profile must be attached to IAM managed policies that contain the required permissions. So I told you that long back, whenever whenever we create a user, then to the user group we created the attached some policies, right? Similarly, in our shell scripting also, while doing in shell scripting, I shown you access code and secret access code. So secret access code and access code, we have to use them whenever remotely, whenever we want to connect to our cloud remotely, then we have to provide those two keys. So but that is also normally used, but mostly roles are used between services. Keys are used between us and the cloud. suppose I want to use our cloud service using the Linux console, for example, then I need access code and secret access code. But assume services internally they want to access other services internally they want to access other service, then we have to go for roles concept. So roles are actually we used for between the services. At the same time, I also told you that roles also used by your applications, your Java application, for example. Your Java application want to access S3 bucket, for example, it can use a role. The application can use a role. So applications can access other if they want to access other service, they can use roles, or services to services they want to access among them, then roles are to be used. For all remaining purposes, we can go with access key and secret access key, right? That you should understand. Now here what we have to do, we have to create two roles. Now two policies, we have to create two policies. One is this one, service role, and another one is to instance profile. These two, for these two we have to create two roles. We have to create two roles. So these roles, because elastic beanstalk initially internally it will access auto scaling, it can access load balancers, right? For that it requires some permissions. This elastic beanstalk is itself a service, and this service want to access other services. Okay, so for that we have to provide some permissions to elastic beanstalk. So this this service already given a name called AWS Elastic Beanstalk Service Role. This is already there. Okay, suppose you want to create a new one. Suppose you practicing today, I taught you and you practicing, you will get this name automatically populated here. It will come here already. But at that time you have to use create and use new service role, not the use an existing service role. I have already one. That is the reason I am selected use an existing service role. But for you, you have to select create and use new service role. And still at that time also you will get the same name. You can go with it. But since I want to show you this, so I will select create it and use a new role, but this role is already existing. How can I check that? Simply go to our identity and accessment dashboard. Duplicate this window, just type here IAM. Here we saw these two things, roles. If you click on roles now, here we have how many roles? 11 roles it is showing. Okay, it's showing an elastic profile role, elastic beanstalk service role. This is the same role we were talking about. You see on the right side, trusted entities, AWS service elastic beanstalk. If you click on this, what is the name? AWS elastic beanstalk service role. Same name, right? It is already there. But suppose I want to create a new one, no problem. Create and use new service role. Here you just append with a new number, something like hyphen 2. Then a new role will be created. Once it is created, it will be shown here. But if you expand the service role, you select it, and if you expand, if you click on this, okay. So what policies it has got? It has got two policies attached to it already. Elastic Beanstalk Enhanced Health, Elastic Beanstalk Managed Updates Customer Role Policy. So various policies are written in a JavaScript, so in a JSON, sorry. So it will have access to it can access auto scaling service. It can access SQS. What is SQS? We will learn very soon. Simple queue service. So it can access to simple queue service, right? It can access load balancer. You see, elastic load balancer. It can access EC2. So like that, it can do various actions on them. Okay. So these are all mentioned in a JSON format. Okay. So these are the policies applied on this role. And you see the role maximum session duration is 1 hour. After this 1 hour, again, if you're continuously using, no problem. Otherwise, if you're not using, then the role will expire in 1 hour. Whereas if you use access key, or private access key, so they exist for any time. There is no time duration for using them. So roles are temporary. You can, if whenever you are running executing some service, then that service want to access other services. At that time, the role will work. Okay. Anyway, come back to here, and now this role I want, and easy to keep here. You can select keep here what we have, and instance profile. As I told you, to since our beanstalk want to access our EC2 instance, then we have to create one more role, and we have to give proper permissions to it. Okay, for that what we have to do? So already one AWS Elastic Beanstalk profile role is there. Okay, what I will do, I will create a new one. For example, it's not allowing, right? I will do one thing. Go to our roles. Okay, I want to create a new role. Click on create role. When you say create role, we have 5 options here: AWS service, AWS account, web identity, SAML federation, custom trust policy. Out of this, we want AWS service. If you read it carefully, allow AWS services like EC2, Lambda, or others to perform actions in this account. So I want to perform some actions on EC2 instance. So come down and use case. So what operations on which service you want to, or BeanStalk want to have perform some actions on EC2 instance. Our BeanStalk will want access to our EC2 instance, right? So select on EC2 instance. Why it is using? Why our BeanStalk using this EC2 instance? Because BeanStalk going to create it, and it want to go deploy a web application in this EC2 instance. Okay, select EC2 instance, and then click on next. And then we have to attach a policy to this new role. So the role name we mention as Elastic Beanstalk web tier. Okay, when you expand it, see we have AWS Elastic Beanstalk web tier. This policy we required. Select this policy and click on next. Now give the role name. Okay, I will give something similar name. Just I want to follow the same, but any name you can give. No restriction. Okay, I will say AWS Elastic Beanstalk profile role, right? Profile role 2, I will say. Okay, profile role 2. So your description, it automatically populated, allows EC2 instances to call AWS services on your behalf. Okay, now come down. So this is the JSON created for this role, and now come down and click on create role. The role has been created. Now this is the role. Okay, this is the role has been created. This role I have to use in our Beanstack, and just you have to refresh it and see our role has been displayed here. Role 2. Select this role 2. Okay, what we are doing, we are creating a new create and use new service role and another EC2 instance profile role. These two roles we have to create, and then select the key pair, and next click on next button. Next, where you want to deploy, in which VPC you want to deploy. As you already have some knowledge on VPC, if you already created a custom VPC, you can go with a custom VPC. But I don't have a custom VPC. I'm selecting the default VPC. If you want, here option is provided, create custom VPC. You can create immediately one VPC, and then public IP, we require a public IP. Assign a public IP address to the Amazon EC2 instances in your environment. Right? Activated. Click on activated, and come down where subnets where you want to be created. We have 3 zones. You select A and B, not C. Why? Because in C, in Mumbai region, in C, we don't have T2 micro. We don't have T2 micro service available. Okay, T2 micro, as you know, it contains one CPU, one RAM, that is available only in 2 zones. If you go with 1C, in 1C, you have other options. You can select T3 micro. T3 micro also is free. It's also free. You can use that as well. But to avoid that situation, go with 1 and B, so that 1 and B both zones have T2 micro. Okay, just when you come down, if you have any database, you can uh, will cover database as well in coming session. If you have a database, then where your database to be running on which zones you want your database to be running on, and what is the username and password of your database, those things you have to mention here. So your username and password for the database, so those things we'll see when we're learning database. We cover what do you call RDS, relation database service, in AWS. We cover that as well with MySQL. We will see that how to create a database, right? And then click on next. And remaining things are simple. Don't ignore them. No problem. Just come down, and what service security groups you want. I want default security group. Okay, and this one is showing there, but select default security group. If you want to create a new security group, you can create a new security group, and you can refresh here. A new security group will be shown here. But I want to default security group. Default security group contains all the, it allows all the traffic. So for this demo, I will select default security group, but in real time, we will create our own security group and we will refresh here, and that security group will come appear here, and you have to select that security group. As of now, I am selected default security group, and it is auto scaling is automatically added by the Elastic Beanstalk. So minimum 1 and maximum 1 it is maintaining for our single instance. It is free tier. And here by default it is selecting what type of architecture, 86 and 64. ARM 64 is mostly used for your mobile type of applications, tablets kind of applications. For those we go for ARM 64. Okay, for desktops and laptops we go for x86 64. Server, for servers we use this option, not this one, remember. And you see it is showing instance types as T3 micro, T3 small. Okay, close both of them. Okay, come down, expand to it to T2, select T2 micro. If you have selected zone C as well, then you won't see T2 micro. Because I have not selected it, I can see T2 micro. It is T2 micro here, select T2 micro. And this is our Linux ID, image ID. That's all. Now click on next. So health reporting enhanced by default, let it be. And I'm not interested in other activities. If you want, you can get emails also, notifications. So yeah, these are fine. We can go with this default settings. So these are the settings done by the automatically done by the Java settings. So Java uses some environment variables like Gradle home. Okay, so maven is required to build that code to convert to binary format, right? So Apache maven will be used, and where that maven software available in the bin folder, right? So that path of the maven is declared shown here. Okay, and Gradle is a tool which will deploy the code to any server. So Gradle is, it is using Gradle. Okay, click on next. Who are Java developers, they know these things. Click on next, and we no need to understand these things because we are not developers. And now review everything. One this application name is FedEx. It's be deploying sample application. Okay, environment is dev environment. Okay, that's all. And just come down and you start keep here, and this is the profile we selected roles. And finally come down and click submit. If all settings are correct, then it will start. It will say that Elastic Beanstalk is launching your environment. This will take few minutes. Here health, once health is as okay, then you can use this domain name. We can use this domain name. We can launch our website. This is the domain name, and still it is health is unknown. And all the status you can see here. You see one by one everything we will see here. Create environment is starting. So one by one that it will show the status. Refresh it. So we have to wait for few minutes. And you see carefully, if you observe carefully, when you go to our EC2 instance dashboard, see automatically instance will be created here. See it is running our application name FedEx web app dev environment. Automatically it will create. It is TT micro. And then your auto scaling also will be created one. See, go to auto scaling groups. You see auto scaling is created now. It is running. Load balances will not be created. You have selected If you have selected high availability, then load balancer will be selected. We have not selected it. It is, and elastic IP is one elastic IP is selected. So it's a FedEx dev environment. Right. Then let's go to our environment and see whether what happening. Instance deployment completed successfully. Okay, what is the status here? Health is showing okay. Now let's click on the launch button. Click on this. You see the application is developed. It's this output of the web sample application. What the output saying? Congratulations, your first AWS Elastic BeanStalk correct application is now running on your dedicated environment AWS Cloud. Okay, then this environment is launched with Elastic Beanstalk Corretto platform. So for more understanding how to deploy other applications, you can click on any of these options here. If you go here, for every language they have product documentation. So if you come over here, uh, managing applications, and not this one. One moment, please. Same thing, but you have to just explore. For working with .NET Core on Linux, creating deploying .NET Core application on Elastic Beanstalk. Okay, we have different options they're given. So you can select and you can deploy the applications whichever we want. For example, if you want Java, so everything getting started on Java. So you'll see options here on the left side as well. But here also you can see. So getting started with Java Beanstalk. So all the steps will be given here. So if the same thing whatever we did, the same thing will be explained here. Okay. So you can go with the documentation as well. Okay. Next, any questions till now? Please let me know if you have any questions. Okay. Next thing is that what we have to do, and also if you observe in the Elastic bucket, if you go to Elastic bucket also, so I'm sorry, if you go to S3 service, in that a bucket is will be created by Elastic Beanstalk. So a bucket is created. Now it is today it is not created. If you upload your own application, it will create. But now also it should create actually. Just a moment, please. Expand. Okay, bucket is created, but the resources should be created. Yeah, the bucket is old one. The resource is created just now. Okay, at 9:43. Okay, so resources, go to resource folder. So it will maintain all the files, all the details in this. So if you are installing, if you are deploying your own, the developers give you the application. If you deploying the application, all the details will be provided by them, the code and everything they will provide. We don't need to worry about it. We don't need to worry about it. Okay, so everything comes here and sits in the S3 bucket. So now I want to destroy all the services created by the build stack. Then what I have to do? Simply go to your application, select it, select the application. Okay, actions and delete application. When you delete this application, everything will be deleted. Like your VPC, when you delete a VPC, like everything it has, whatever it is created, subnets and whatever internet gateway, everything it will delete, right? Same way, whatever it has deleted, it will take some time, but it will delete everything. If you go to your what do you call EC3 also, now by now it will be shutting down. So it is shutting down, right? Similarly, it will happen with everything. Even your auto scaling also will be removed in a moment. Slowly everything will be cleaned up. So when you work, when you complete, when you after practicing, you have to delete them. But one thing what you have to do is, for S3 bucket, you have to manually go to that bucket, you have to empty it, and you have to delete it. Okay, if it is not deleted by Elastic Beanstalk, you just check whether it has cleaned the bucket or not. If not, you delete it manually. Okay, so that is about our Elastic Beanstalk. So I will take another topic, that is SQS, AWS Simple Queue Service. So mostly, most of the services internally in AWS Cloud, most of the applications they internally use SQS. Like SNS we saw, right? SNS was used by various services internally, right? CloudWatch, load balancers, these things, whenever they want to notify uh, through email, they used SNS service. Similarly, SQS service also will be used by various other services internally by the cloud. For example, assume if you take some examples. For example, S3, in S3 bucket, I want some some message to be logged into our SQL simple queue service. So suppose user somebody uploaded a file. If you upload a file, and if that file having so and so extension, and if that file name begins with so and so name, then automatically that message should be sent to SQS queue, for example. And then what do you do? What the developers normally, developers do this way. So what developers next, they want, what they want to do, once that file is uploaded, immediately SQS will get that message. Who will send that message to SQS? S3 service should send that message to our SQS. After SQS has received that message, then SQS service will trigger another service. It will trigger another service like Lambda. What is Lambda? We'll come to know in a moment. Lambda, you can think it as a, so for example, if for example, take programmers write lot of code, right? They will write lot of code. Even previously, recently, we also written some small code in shell scripting. In shell scripting, we studied different concepts. One of them is functions. If you remember, we used a concept called functions. So I told you why functions are used. If you remember, if you want to use set of instructions multiple times in the program, in your program, multiple locations you want to use that function again and again, then instead of writing those set of instructions again and again, you put those set of instructions in a function. And whenever you want to use those set of instructions, you just call that function with its name, right? Same thing Lambda do. Lambda is nothing but lambda function. The name itself saying Lambda function. That means Lambda contains hundreds of functions. Both some are already existing functions provided by the AWS cloud, and some are added by the developers. That means, for example, Infosys got a project, and the team working on that project, and that team want to use Lambda functions. Then instead of creating a instance, separate instance, history instance, they can go directly with the Lambda functions. Why? What is the advantage? We will see those things when we study Lambda. But as of now, just try to understand Lambda functions are nothing but a set of instructions. Lambda do, once SQS receives a message from S3 service with some information, that SQS can do many things. One of them is it can trigger a lambda function, and the lambda function can process that message. In the lambda function, you can write set of instructions. Okay, this is a message. Fine. Okay, this in this message there is a file uploaded in the S3 bucket. This so and so name. Okay, then what I have to take actions on this file. So those that logic the developers can write it. In short, what I'm trying to say is, like SNS, simple notification service, SQS service also will be internally used by other services. Okay, and the name itself saying that it's a queue, simple queue. So in SQS we have two types of queues actually. First is one is standard queue, and another is first in first out queue, FIFO. FIFO queue. Okay, so FIFO is first in first out, so it is costlier than compared with standard because FIFO works accurately. That means whenever a message comes, that first message will be processed and then second, like that. But standard queue, it is not like that. It's not, there will be no order maintained in standard queue, and it is cheap as well. And moreover, the same message can be processed more than once also in standard queue. Okay, so we have two types of queues now. Okay, so let's try to see the dashboard of SQS queue, how it looks and how can we play with it, and then we'll see a sample example how can a S3 service can send a request, send a message to our SQS, and how the SQS logs that information. Let's see that. Type it SQS simple queue service. SQS manages managed message queues. Click on it. Create a queue. Okay, Amazon SQS provides queues for high throughput system to system messaging. You can use queues to decouple heavyweight processes and to buffer and batch work. Amazon SQS stores messages until microservices and serverless applications process them. So in SQS, we can store your messages. You can mention how many days you want to store. By default, it will store for 4 days. You can increase or decrease the time period. Also, SQS also used for various purposes in real time. For example, assume a credit processing system, credit card processing system. So if a credit card is processing, so whenever you're processing, there will be involved multiple steps. Okay, whenever you check out, then you should get a OTP. Once the OTP is entered, that OTP is verified. After verification is done, then these are all different steps, right? So these are all steps can be treated as a messages, different messages, and each step is managed by consumers. Consumers is nothing but in queue we have a term called consumers. Consumers in queue will pick the message and process them. Okay, these consumers will be more than one, and so when a consumer is picking one message and when it is processing, then another consumer should not pick that same message. You should not pick the same message. So that message should not be shown to that other consumer. Consumer is a process inside the queue. It's a process which process the message. So once a consumer processing a message, the other consumer process will not should not process that same message. For that, that message should not be shown to other consumers, so that it will not be picked. That is the idea. We will see this. We'll see this in a moment. Now go to here, click on create queue. So we have standard, at least once delivery message ordering is not preserved. So messages are orders are not preserved, so at least once delivery, best effort ordering. Okay, and if before first in first out delivery message ordering is preserved. So first in come first, what message first received, that first message will be processed. So order is maintained here, first in first out delivery, exactly once processing. So it will process every message only one time, but in standard it may process the same message more than once it happens. Okay, you can't change the queue type after you create a queue. Okay, once you create it, you can't change, either you have to delete it and you can create a new queue. So give some new queue. So I will say something like a, S3 message queue, something I will say, something S3 message queue, because now I want to receive some messages. Or else first, let's see, test queue, queue. Okay, and then here you see some details are the configuration details. So visibility timeout, as I told you, when one consumer process is processing a message, the other consumer processes should not view that message. If they view it, they will pick it up and they will process it. That is the reason here we say visibility timeout. Okay, visibility timeout is 30 seconds. That means once a consumer process started pick the message, till 30 seconds that message will not be shown to other consumer messages, another consumer processes. So 30 seconds it will take to process that message. In that 30 minutes time, if it does not able to process it, it will increase the time. It will increase, or it will put that message back into the queue, so that other process other consumer process will take it up and it will continue processing it. If still it is failing, the message is unable to processed by the consumer processes, then that message will be moved to dead queue. When you come down, we have option called dead letter queue. If that message is not processed by any of the consumer processes, then that will move to a dead queue. So all the messages which are not processed, unable to be processed, then those are moved to dead letter queue, so that later on the developers will check why these messages are not processed. They will check it. We inform them these are the queue which contain dead letter messages, so they will check it out. We don't need to worry about it. We don't need to process why this message is not delivered. We don't need to worry about it. But those will be preserved in a other queue called dead letter queue. Okay, and message retention period. How much period you want to retain these messages? 4 days, minimum 4 days. Not minimum. The range is given here. Minimum 1 minute to 14 days. You can keep it up. Okay, and next is delivery delay. So how much time? Suppose one message is processed, so you want to, if it is not unable to process that 30 seconds, in 30 seconds, then new message will be coming into the queue. So how much do you want to make it wait the other message to come into the queue? So you can give some delay here. So other message will wait for that seconds, and after that seconds completed, the new message will be added into the queue, like that. And each message size, how much? It will be 256 kb. Each message will be 256 kb maximum, and minimum will be 1 kb. So receive message time, that we will see when we create a message. When you create this queue, we will see what is receive message. We will see that comes in the next screen. So that is about how much time it has to wait to receive the message, wait time, that we will see in the next screen. And when you come down, encryption, I don't want encryption as of now. I am disabling it. It's chargeable. I don't. Encryption is nothing but it will encrypt your messages, nothing more than that. And then we have access policies. We have basic type, advanced type. We will see both of these, but as of now, basic, if you see what it is simply define who can send message to the queue. Only the queue owner, only the queue owner. So both to define who can receive. So who can send the messages, who can receive the messages. This is about the receiving time. So receive message wait time, that is about it. Okay, we'll see that. So who can receive the messages? So only I can do it because I am the owner. But suppose I want to not only myself, others also want to process these messages. Then you can go with advanced setup. Then you have to modify this JSON file accordingly. We'll see that as well in a moment. But as of now, go with these basic settings and come down. So leave this and go to create queue. Queue test queue created successfully. You can now send and receive messages. So for testing these messages, you see this. You have to click on send and receive messages. And here, if you observe carefully, that it is a name, type is standard, and ARN, Amazon resource name. So this is a unique name. So every resource, whenever you create a new resource, that have a resource name. This is unique. You can use it programmatically in your Java code, .NET code, Python, wherever you want. If you want to access this particular queue, then every resource will have a ARN. Whenever you want to access them, you have to use ARN. So ARN will be used wherever you want. And then we have different types of subscribers here. SNS subscriptions, Lambda triggers, event bridges, various other things are there. We will see them in a moment. But as of now, what I am going to do is click on send and receive messages. When you click on send and messages, we will come to this page. Okay, here we in the bottom we have receive messages, and here we have send message. Okay, so I can send a message here. Testing purpose. Message 1. I'm sending one message. Delivery delay. I don't want to give any delay. Immediately it should be delivered. And here receive messages. it will receive the messages. And here to receive the messages, we have to click on poll for messages. This is for testing the messages actually. So once it is working, you can send these messages instead of click on poll for messages. Whenever you click on send message, the send message when I see here, I'm clicking on send message, the message has been sent and it is ready to be received. When you click here, when you come down, when you click on poll for messages, it will check in the queue. It will check the queue whether the queue contains any messages or not. Which queue? Will check the test queue. This queue will go and will check whether it contains any message. As of now, it having one message, and you see here as of now it's showing message available 0, but we have one message in the queue. Click on poll for message. When you click on poll for messages, it will check in the queue. So a message has been delivered here with some ID. It still is polling in progress. So how much time it will take? 30 seconds. So 30 seconds, you can increase and decrease the polling duration. You can decrease or increase, no problem. But one thing you should understand, when I'm click on send message, the message coming here, and when you click on poll for messages, you're getting the message here. But in real time, we won't do this. In real time, what we will do, whenever a message has been sent, then we will send. I am here typing and testing it purpose, I'm doing it, but manually, but real time we won't do this, right? So in real time, what happens, the message will come from other service, from one of the service in the cloud, and that service can be processed by another service. So this way it happens actually. But as of now, for testing purpose, what I'm trying to do, we'll just seeing how the messages are, we can deliver, and how we can check them. So now messages available are 1, and it is processed. Then you click on this ID. The body contains the message. The body contains the message, and these are other metadata, the details and attributes, other metadata. So this is a message actually. So done. Then again, if I send message 10, okay, uh, something I'll say on March 6th. So send message, and this time the polling take. So if we see here, we got two messages are available here as of now. Okay, now this poll I want to decrease. For example, I can decrease it. Polling duration I can make it just to 10 seconds. Okay, save it. Now poll for messages. So we got another message, and polling is happening. It's checking in 10 seconds. Now, if you see, it is 25 bytes. Previous one is 9 bytes. Let me check this one. Click on it. What is the body? Body message is showing 10 on March 6th. The message we have received. So this is testing the queue. So now let's see how a S3 service can use our queue. So whenever I upload, for example, whenever I upload a file in S3, then the message should be sent to our queue. So here, for example, I have one bucket. I will create a new bucket. Okay, this one S3 message, okay, to capital, you can't use capital letters, okay, to SQS some message bucket name I have kept, okay, some file load message something, okay, some unique name I want to put to SQS queue. Fine, that is fine. And come down, you just remove this block all public access, remove them, and access it, acknowledge it, and nothing more than that. Just come down and click on create bucket. Now in this bucket has been created. S3 file upload message to SQS queue. Okay, click on it. When you click on it, now whenever I upload a file, the message has to be sent to our SQS. Okay. Now for that, let me create one more queue. A new queue I want to create now. Okay. This one anyway I will delete it, not required. Go to actions. Sorry, delete it. Here itself we have delete option. Select it, delete it. Now create a new bucket, new queue. Here I will say S3 file upload. Otherwise, I will say SQS queue for file upload messages. Okay. SQS queue for S3 file upload messages. So queue name is case sensitive and can have up to 80 characters. Remember this. Okay. And then remaining you can leave it as it is, no changes. Encryption I will disable, server side encryption I will disable it, I don't want them. And then we have to change the JSON as well, we will do that in a moment, but as of now keep everything as it is, no not required to change anything. Create queue. Okay, it is done now. Now this is our queue now. Okay, this is our queue and the queue name is this one. Now our S3 want to send a message to our SQS. For that what we have to do, we'll see. First of all, upload. Click on upload. And before uploading, one important thing what we have to do, so whatever file you want to upload in this bucket, that file upload information has to be sent to the queue, right? So you have to do on the bucket level. So the settings also done should be done at the bucket level, not at the on the file level, right? Go to the bucket, click on the bucket, is a bucket. Go to the properties. In the properties we already saw bucket versioning, we already saw. So one more property available here, that is event notifications. Okay, send a notification when specific events occurs in your bucket. If you want to do that, you can go with this option, event notifications. Click on create event notification. So here we have different events. So general configuration, event name. Okay, I will say file upload event. Okay, here prefix is optional, suffix also optional. You see, limit the notifications to objects with the key starting with specified characters. Suppose you are uploading some files which contains passes starting some with some characters, then you can mention over here. So, and if the file ending with some extension, you can mention in the suffix option, in the suffix text box. So prefix and suffix are used for that purpose. So you can filter out, instead of sending for every file, you can filter out so that only that such files which starting with so and so string and ending with so and so extension, you can filter it out if you want. But as of now both are optional. I don't want to change anything here. Just come down. So here object creation. So these are different types of objects. Put means whenever you create an object, whenever you upload a file, then it comes under put. And if you modify that uploaded file, then it comes under post. And like this we have object removal. There are various operations. So various operations events are there, various operation events are there. But now for this demo I am not interested to all these events, I am interested only on put event. So whenever a new file is uploaded, this event will be fired. That means a file has been uploaded. When that event is fired, then that event has to be sent to, assume here I want to send it to the to our queue. In this a message has to be received automatically. When you click on send and receive message, I won't click here right now. Go back to S3. Now I've selected put here and come down, and destination, where you want to send this message. When a file is uploaded, that event to which service you want to send, either to Lambda or SNS or SQS. If it is Lambda, what is the Lambda function name, like that. But I want SQS. I select SQS. Then choose from your SQS queues, enter SQS queue ARN. Two options are there. Our name, what is the queue name? SQS queue for S3 file upload. That should come here. See, SQS queue for S3 file upload. It is there. There is another way also. You can select this ARN also. You can copy the ARN directly. You can copy this ARN. I can paste that ARN here. This is another option. Both ways you can try. Okay, that is fine. But one thing, important thing should understand here. This alert message, information message. Before Amazon S3 can publish messages to the destination, you must grant the Amazon S3 principal the necessary permissions to call the relevant APIs to publish messages on to an SNS topic on SQS queue or a Lambda function. What it is saying is that if S3 service want to communicate with another services on the cloud, then S3 service should have required permissions. Required permissions. So what those permissions we should understand. Click on learn more. Click on this. So Amazon S3 event notifications. Just scroll down. On the left side you observe carefully, using SQS, SNS and Lambda. Click on this. Okay, expand it. In this, walk through configuring SNS or SQS, right? Click on this. And now scroll down. Walkthrough summary. This walkthrough helps you do the following. Publish events of the S3 object created type to an Amazon SQS queue. Here colon star means any operation on this on that file on this on the S3 bucket. So just come down. It is saying that create an Amazon SQS queue. Yes, we already done that. We have created a SQS queue using the Amazon SQS console. Create an SQS queue. You can access any message Amazon S3 sends to the queue programmatically. But for this walkthrough, you verify notification messages in the console. Okay, and this for SNS. Okay, come down. Create an Amazon SQS queue. Right here, these are steps already done in the Amazon SQS console. Queue list, choose the queue name. Okay, I've select the queue name. Go here. Uh, Go to the step again. What is saying? Replace the, using the Amazon SQ console. Create a queue for instructions. Okay, queue is created, and then first step in the queue list, choose the queue name. Yes, I've selected the queue name. The queue list means this one. This is a list of queues. In this, you select the queue name. Yes, this is the one I want. Select it, and then what it's saying, replace the access policy. Okay, sorry, I'm sorry. On the access policy tab, choose edit. Come down. Here we have access policy. Just expand it. We have access policy. On the left side, we have various things. These things we'll see in a moment. But on the right side, if you go, click on access policy. That's what the documentation is saying. So you should make habit of reading the documents as well. Okay, you have to Google. You have to make a habit of reading the articles provided in the cloud by the AWS. Right, these things you should make a habit of it. Okay, so that in future, if you're working alone, and you should not depend on anyone. Dependency is very dangerous. Okay, not only as a job develop as a DevOps engineer, uh, you take it any role in your real life. So you should have good information. So you should depend on only on yourself. Okay, on your capabilities. Okay, so whenever you are in an issue, then you should you have to Google it, and you have to find the solution, and you have to find the problem, and you have to fix it. Okay, now here is a problem. I don't know how to connect to a S3. I don't know how to send a message to a queue using a S3 service. Okay, these are steps they have provided. Okay, very simple, right? Everything they have provided. And then edit it, and what they're saying, replace the access policy that attached to the queue in it. So simply what they're saying is that this they are saying copy this, but here they're saying that the resource colon, you have to provide the resource queue ARN here, and then here they're saying paste the complete S3 bucket ARN, the bucket which we created, right? The bucket ARN you have to create, and here they're saying that just copy the account ID. The account ID where we get, we know where we get it. I will show you if you forgot. So these three things they're saying that use the same everything, and just replace these things with your original ARN values of SQS, and also S3 bucket ARN. These two replace and account ID. That's all you have to do. So what I have to do, if you study it carefully, if you study this JSON properly, what it is saying is that effect allow, so service S3. So this is a principle, service is S3, so S3 is allowed, okay, to do action on what action, only one action, that is send message. It can only send message, nothing more than that. If you have multiple actions, then you can add multiple actions in this action. This is JSON property. It's a square bracket means it's an array. Square bracket means it's an array. Array means nothing, it contains multiple options, so it can contain multiple options, right? One of only one is present. If you add more, you can put a comma over here, and you can add one more, right? Anyway, as of now, S3 service is trying to send message to our SQS, but only sending event it can do, more nothing more than that. Okay, so and resource name, condition. Okay, ARN, like what is ARN, that you have to give, and string equals to and your bucket name. I'm sorry, the bucket name. What's the S3 bucket name? That name you have to give. Simply copy everything. Go to your queue. We have already clicked on. We have not clicked. Click on access policy. Just come down here. We have access policy already here. Okay. Just see if you action. I told you just now. If you have multiple actions, one or two, then put a comma over here. In the square bracket, put a comma over here. Add one more action. SQS colon. and one more action here. But if you want to give all the actions to be performed, then simply no square brackets are required. Simply say action colon double quotation SQS colon star. Star means everything. Everything you can do on the SQS, right? So why it is, what is the principle here? It is AWS principle. It is a root user. That means myself. I can do anything on this queue. I can do anything on this queue. But now this person has changed now. This person who is now in this place, now we have new person is S3. Is S3. Now S3 only can do, and that too only one job, that is send a message. Anyway, click on edit, select everything, Control A, delete it. Not deleted. Let me try again. Control A, click a backspace. Click a backspace. Everything is deleted. Now right click and click on paste. Everything is pasted. We copied everything from here. And next thing is what? This SQS ARN we require here. We have to paste the SQS ARN. Where we can get it? I told you, right? I shown you. Just right click on this. Open this link in the new tab. This is the ARN we get it. Copy this. Go back to our edit here. And in the double quotation it is there. Just carefully delete this and paste that ARN. And next is our S3 bucket ARN we require. Our bucket S3 ARN we require. Where is the bucket? So, and one more thing. This this whatever we editing, it is not yet ready, right? Let it be like that only. Let's see what happens if I click on save changes. Okay, when you click on save changes, I've selected SQS queue, I've selected the ARN. When you click on save changes, it's saying that an unexpected error occurred, unable to validate the following destination configurations. Okay, because once we change this, once we edit it properly, and when then we try again, it will work. Okay, it is currently it is not working. So, and moreover, what we require here, we require ARN of the bucket. Just go here, go to the top. Again same, it's a bucket, right? Right click on this bucket, open in new tab. Your bucket will come here. To this bucket we should have, go to properties. When you go to properties, we have ARN, Amazon resource name. Copy this ARN. Okay, this ARN contains the bucket ARN. Copy this and go to our edit queue, and this time you completely remove everything from here, delete everything, the double quotation, everything, clean it and paste that new ARN. Okay, and finally source account bucket owner account ID. You know that. Go to your name and click on the copy button. This account number will copy it, and you delete everything here. Now this is a account ID. That's all. And next what we have to do, come down, click on save. Once this connection is saved, go to now our S3 bucket creation event. The file upload event is created, and then put is there, everything already set. Now everything is fine. Now save changes. See, successfully created event notification file upload. So now the connection has been established properly. You see, previously it was failing. Now what happens, the S3 bucket will send a sample event to our queue. It will send a sample event immediately. It has sent already. Just confirming whether the connection has been established properly or not. How can we check it? Go to our queue, click on send and receive messages. Okay, just come down. Here you see message available one message showing. Okay, we have not sent, right? It is there. Click on poll for messages. This is a message. Now click on it. It's a body. You observe carefully. What is service? AWS S3. It sent a message. This is a message. Bucket name is S3 file upload message. So a confirmation message will be sent by default. Next, what I will do, I will upload a file to this bucket now. Now, whenever I upload a file, another message should come over here with the bucket, with the file name, which file has been uploaded. Those events I want to capture in a queue. Now, upload. I am adding a file here. For example, downloads. Go to downloads. Here, I will upload my key pair or links. For example, I will take a links. Open. upload. It's uploaded. Then immediately I should get a message. A event should be fired by the S3 service, and that event should be captured in our queue, right? Yes or no? Now simply what I will do here, one it's showing message available one, but let me poll for messages. You see messages are two now. Previously it was 242 bytes, now it is 777 bytes. Let's open this file. Okay, recent receive count 1 and 2. This count is showing no. Let me open the first one. Let's is this one. No, this is not the one. Let's open the second one. If you see, observe carefully, you should have the our file name uploaded some name somewhere. Records, region, event name is object get put, and scroll down. You should have object is a bucket. Okay, and bucket name is, what is the bucket name? And bucket name is S3 file upload message queue. And then when you come down, uh, can you observe the key should have key and event name? Or what I will do, I'll control A, I will copy this. Let me copy this in a notepad so that I can see it properly. Okay, this is a complete event. And if you see carefully here, I uploaded a file, right? You see object key, and this is a file name. Links.txt is a file we uploaded, right? So this message we will be getting like this. So whatever you upload, you will get like this. Hope you are understanding. So S3 bucket will send like this only. Every event will send. So similarly, if you try to upload another file, and this time I will upload a new key.pem file. Open and then upload. So what file I uploaded? New key.pem file. I upload this one. Let's go to this and poll for messages. We got third message. Check this one. Just Control A, copy them and paste on your notepad plus plus. You see this time object is what it's saying, new key.pem file. So like this, S3 service can send events to our queue, and queue can store it, and you can process it. And next level, you can send these messages to Lambda function. That we'll see tomorrow. Tomorrow we'll learning Lambda, and we'll see tomorrow. Yeah, if possible, tomorrow we'll learn Lambda, and then basing on that, we'll process the messages. Please let me know if you have any questions. I will wait for 10 seconds. If you have no questions, we'll end up the session. Uh, Let me know. Okay, then. Thanks for your time. Have a good day. Take care.